Triple-Header. Gordon was resting in a siding. It was a hot day and the express had been heavy. He complained, suggested Thomas cheekily. Perhaps it was lucky for Thomas that poor Gordon hadn't the energy to reply. The men worked hard on Gordon, but they couldn't make him better. They said, while Gordon was being mended, Henry pulled the express. But one morning, just before Gordon was due back, Henry was ill too. The inspector told the Fat Controller. Asked the Fat Controller. The inspector shook his head. He suggested. So the 3 tank engines were coupled together, Thomas nearest the crane, Duck in the middle, and Percy at the front. Then slowly they started. Fussed Percy importantly. Puffed Duck. Grumbled Thomas to the others. The heavy train drew out of the platform. The engines couldn't go as fast as Gordon, but the passengers didn't mind. They knew that Percy, Thomas and Duck were doing their best. Expresses are not like branch line trains. They don't stop at all the stations and the engines don't have a chance to get their breath back. Soon the 3 began to feel tired. They struggled valiantly up Gordon's hill, but the strain was beginning to tell. Thought Thomas. But the hill proved too much for Percy. His driver blew his whistle and stopped the train. Said Thomas's driver. This made things harder for the other 2, but they struggled gamely on, twin columns of steam shooting high into the air. Puffed Thomas and Duck together as they summoned a last brave effort. Poor Percy had no steam left to say anything. They were just passing the works when Duck found he could go no further. Thomas could not pull the heavy train on his own, and the cavalcade came to a standstill a few yards short of the station platform. And there, standing watching from the works siding, stood Gordon. The Fat Controller, who had been on the train, told the 3 engines he was proud of them. He said, Duck, Percy and Thomas were uncoupled and a new engine took their place. As the tank engines moved wearily away, Gordon looked at Thomas and smiled. Then he took 3 deep breaths and winked. He didn't need to say anything. Thomas knew exactly what he meant.